one of the challenges, and maybe we can end on this point, unless we find other topics y'all want to investigate further, is time, right? You're multiple years into this. You've worked for years to build this infrastructure, and there have been folks who have come through that infrastructure and required years of assistance at different times. All throughout this conversation, we've touched on this topic a bit. Certainly we all understand the general principles of good time management and allocation and so forth. I'll confess, I think if I look at my life and the things I've accomplished that really mean something, they didn't happen through conscientious time management. They happened through the gravitational pull of my passion for a particular problem or topic, and maybe I lackadaisically let it take my time. Maybe there was another forces at work. Just share your philosophy on that. I mean, that's a little of mine. But how you're having to balance these different roles. Some of them you're having to adopt that you really had never intended, like entrepreneur.
Right.
You've got the conflicting obligations and really yet complementary opportunities of faculty member, community engaged scholar, innovator. How do you approach time?
It's really tough.
Or do you just let it approach you like I do?
Well, I'll tell you, it took on a whole new meaning when the patent was issued and we started thinking about production and where to go, because when we start talking about a small business, that is a non-faculty member responsibility that has to not happen at this at this job. And so that's a whole other life that you just have to figure out. That's a real challenge. And I do think at some point I will have to make a decision, because you can't do everything. And so yeah, time is really, really tough, and you do have to prioritize. In regards to innovation, and in regards to my project in particular, and other ideas. I mean, I kind of joke I'm a regular over at OTT, because I'm always like, I've got a great idea, and when I say that, people will eye roll usually, because, oh yeah, she's here again. But I do think it's just a constant, just something you just kind of, it's part of your lifestyle. If it's something that's important to you, then you'll find the time for it. But the other thing is, I joke, when the patent, we finally submitted it, I forgot. I forgot because 2 years went by, and you just don't hear anything. And so in the meantime, you're hopeful you'll eventually get a patent issued. You don't know when that would be. But if it came back and they said, no, you're not going to get a patent, as Wayne said, that wasn't ever the end goal. The end goal was to find a solution to my problem. And so then I would have had to, and somewhere in the back of my head I knew I'd need to pick back up making a prototype and then making just enough, or if nothing more, than my staff to use. So, it's just one of those things, and I think you just have to be persistent, and you just have to be patient, and things will unravel as they will.
Well, without a doubt, you're one of our favorite repeat offenders, as we call them. Wayne, thoughts on time that you've observed?
I'll just tell you how it is for me. If I'm doing something I love doing, I don't even know what time it is. And that's kind of upsetting to my family. It's upsetting to people that I know, because if I'm working on something that's important to me, and people will come and say, it's 2 a.m.? No, I've been here for 6 hours. I didn't even recognize that time was a factor, and so you do have to learn over time, I guess, kind of how to manage that. But that's how I know I'm really doing something that's important to me, is that I'm not aware of time when those things are happening, and I think many people in this room are probably the same way. You lose track of time if you're involved in the things that you're truly involved in, things that you're passionate about.
Well, we shared some take-home messages at the beginning. We boiled those down to get off the porch. Semper Gumby. Would we like to add any others? What's your one big takeaway that you'd want to share with folks as an encouragement?
Be solution focused.
Fair enough.
Do the thing that's right for you. If you do the thing that's right for you, then those other things will all come into place. They'll all line up. And that's been the way I've kind of approached things.
Agreed. Well, we thank you for your time. We'd love to open it up for any questions.